What? I love garbage.
To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What a way to start the episode. I love it. An instant wave of nostalgia to season 1. Promising start. Let's hope that it, continues to be good.
Flash! What did you do?
Out of every other villain that we're going to be seeing in this episode, Zoom has to be my favorite out of all of them. I mean, obviously I love Reverse Flash as a villain more than I love Zoom, especially when you're comparing season 1 and season 2, but we see Reverse Flash all the time. It's not even anything special anymore. As far as Zoom goes though, we haven't really seen him since season 5, I think, with the 100th episode. So it's really cool to see him again. I love him as a villain so very much. He holds a very special place in my heart. I think he was one of the most intimidating villains we've ever had on this show. So it's great to have him back again.
Who dares disrupt my revenge? All right, yeah!
Bruh, who invited Godspeed to the party? Ain't nobody like him. He was a corny, low-key kind of trash villain in season 7. I did not rock with him at all. He was kind of boring and bland, and he's just not even that powerful. Like, come on. Like, they should not have brought him back with this, we're having an amazing group of villains. Reverse Flash, Savitar, Zoom. This man has no place in this group. He sucks. He's corny, and he's not even that strong, I'm gonna be honest.
Because you're about to bleed like everyone else I slaughtered.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Why don't you relax a little bit? Because I haven't seen you do anything overly impressive. Like, the coolest version of Godspeed that we've ever gotten was back in season 6. That was a pretty chill version of Godspeed. I would have liked to see that version more. This one? Trash. Like, who are you defeating? Nobody. Nobody. I have not seen you do anything that made you seem super powerful. Certainly nothing that would make me think that you could defeat Zoom. Come on.
Pretending to be the Flash's ally. Let's see, whose playbook is that from?
You mocking me?
Strung out, chunked up, Velocity 9 junkie, the fastest man alive. You're looking at him.
The interaction between these three so far has been awesome. I mean, it's not perfect. The dialogue is a little cheesy at some parts, a little, but that's just kind of how the dialogue is nowadays, if we're just being real in this show. But it's awesome to see these three interact. This is like something I've dreamed about for years. Like, this is crazy.
I'm the one true god of speed.
No, I am.
Yes, Savitar finally showed up. I've been waiting for him. I love this. This is great. All of them together in the same room. I mean, Godspeed, I could take or leave him, honestly. Get him out of here. But anyway, Savitar's entrance was perfect. It's great that he's humbling Godspeed. He needs to know his place, because Godspeed is like bottom tier speedster villain.
Flash's old cop friend, right? Well, that's real good. Because I am great at killing cops.
You see, this is what I mean when I say the dialogue isn't as good as it used to be. This is not something that Zoom would ever say in season 2. This line comes across as incredibly forced and corny, and it just makes it sound like they're trying to make him intimidating, which they do not need to do. His actions speak for themselves. If you go back and watch season 2, we know this man is dangerous. We know what this man is capable of. He's a very powerful speedster, a very dangerous speedster, and a man who is not afraid to kill people to get what he wants. We know that. You don't have to spell it out for us in your corny dialogue.
You want more speed?
Okay, I actually really like the Cobalt Blue suit. I think it looks super cool. Yeah, I really like it. I don't really have a lot of complaints about it. It just looks like a solid suit, honestly. You mean to tell me that this is the final episode of this show ever, and not only is it titled A New World Part 4, but its secondary title is just Finale? Are you serious? Could they have not come up with anything else that's more original than that? I mean, seriously, you're doing the bare minimum here. You could have just put like 1% effort in and got a better title than that. Like, be so for real.
You kill me, you kill the Speed Force too.
I love how Barry is genuinely talking to him like Eddie would give a single crap about the Speed Force. Like, you gotta remember, before like yesterday, Eddie didn't even really understand the Speed Force in its entirety. He just knew you had speed. He didn't think too much about it. So why would he care about the Speed Force? You know what I'm saying? Nah, cause why do they have my man's running like that? Look at him like he is ducking down like a turtle in his shell. What is he doing? Come on, they couldn't have been like, hey yo dog, when you running, lean up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? What is this? Nah, cause I know car insurance in Central City's gotta be crazy. He just bounced off like 6 cars and blew every single one of them up. That is wild. I know the insurance has got to be crazy for that. I mean, imagine calling your insurance and having to explain this to them. Like, oh yeah, so this metahuman threw another metahuman on top of my car and it went kaboom. Okay, I will admit it is really awesome to see them kind of all walk out together like that, you know? This is an epic team up. You know, I never thought we would see all of these people teaming up together at the same time, so this is kind of crazy.
And your legacy forever.
What did they do to Zoom's mask? It looks discolored and it also looks really cheap all of a sudden. Like, where's the original mask at? Can we bring that one back in? Because this one looks not very good. Like nowhere near as good as the original mask.
Execute Delta maneuvers.
What is Delta maneuvers? Is that something they just made up on the fly? Or is this some like secret code that they have going on that they just didn't write on screen? Have they mentioned this before and I'm just forgetting? What is it? So are we just not gonna talk about the fact that she just randomly gained the ability to fly? There was no build up to this whatsoever. They were just like, you know what? Cecile needs another aspect to her ability. Let's get her flying ASAP. And they just simply just wrote it in and did not question it. And I don't know why I'm surprised by this. She gets this kind of princess overpowered treatment all the time, but still they never fail to shock me with what they just randomly add in for convenience. Earth is it that Nora just beat Savitar so easily? I don't even understand it, you know? I mean, this is a villain that took forever to beat, and within 5 seconds, she's just like, oh, yep, gotcha, good. Also, she stabbed him in the armor. How did that kill him? Or damage him? Like, that doesn't make any sense. His armor is supposed to protect him from crap like this. Also, I love how she just brushes over the fact that she just stabbed him like Savitar literally isn't a version of her dad.
August, let me help you. I can feel how scared you are. Are you afraid you can't beat me? Or that every time you kill, you lose another piece of your soul?
I am disgusted.
There's no way that the writers sat down, looked at this line, and said, yeah, that's a good one. The people are gonna love this one. Are you serious? What even is she talking about? And is she trying to intimidate him with that corny behind line? Oh my goodness. Watching this and kind of looking back on how good this show used to be, how good the dialogue used to be. This is disrespectful to the old Flash seasons, man. Oh my goodness, what is this? There will never be a day in my life where this show will be able to convince me that Cecile is just casually bodying all of these Godspeeds like they're nothing, okay? You could never convince me that she can just casually do this, especially since she hasn't even really used her powers in the field that long. But, I mean, they act like she's just like the most powerful metahuman ever made. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, this should not be happening. Cecile should not be beating Godspeed this easily, okay? She was just like, you're done, bud, and just puts her hand on her temple and just drags him to the floor like it's nothing. It's no big deal. I mean, I know he's a crap villain and a crap speedster, but by golly, he's a speedster nonetheless. He could at least put a little bit more work into trying to defeat her. Oh my goodness, he's just making it easy for her. Just sitting there staring at her, just letting her do whatever.
That's what I call mind over matter.
I beg your pardon?
You are so corny.
Hey.
Despite the fact that Reverse Flash is like incredibly overused, it's good to see him again one final time, and Tom Cavanaugh always brings an amazing performance. Eobard Thawne never fails to make me laugh in some capacity because he's just psychotic. It's great.
Too bad neither of you are powerful enough to lock up the darkness.
Yes! It's so good to hear a callback from season 2. This is great. I can't imagine how good this episode genuinely would be if it wasn't written by the newer writers we have, I guess, or maybe Eric Wallace, you know, if maybe he wasn't involved. I can't imagine how good this would be if the OG people were writing this instead of whoever writes it now, because I don't know if it's a writing problem or a showrunner problem, but somebody ain't doing it right, you know what I'm saying? So, but nonetheless, despite all that, it's so great to see Teddy Sears return as Zoom. He does such a good job, despite the material not being anywhere near as good as it was in season 2. I hate how all of these villains are being defeated in like 30 seconds. These are like main villains over the past couple of years, and you're just casually letting them fall to, you know, newer characters of the show. It doesn't really have an emotional kick to it whatsoever, and it just falls very flat. Barry is not interacting with these villains. We are not getting any kind of emotional like connection between various characters that have dealt with these villains over the years. Yes, I'm talking about Caitlin. A scene between Caitlin and Zoom again would be crazy, especially with what she went through with him in season 2. There would have been a lot of emotional stuff there, and even like having Frost alive and Frost being the one to fight him would be more emotional and better overall, because she would be doing it because of what happened to Caitlin, because she loves Caitlin so much. Not only that, but she was also there technically experiencing it all with Caitlin. So I mean, that would have been a better fight. I mean, Speed and Cold would always make a better fight anyway. We never get to see Ice Wielders and Speedsters fight. That would be so phenomenal to see, but they didn't ever do it, which is not properly, at least, which is unfortunate. If anybody was gonna stop Zoom that wasn't Barry, I guess it does make sense for it to be Keone, because at least she's somewhat connected to Caitlin, and I mean, she is a goddess, so it makes sense that she has the power to defeat him. But then again, it begs the question, why do we have a goddess in the first place that's just extremely OP that can just defeat anybody and everybody? Overall, I just think, I mean, as great as it is to see these villains on paper, it's been executed poorly so far. What the heck was even the point of having Mark there at all? He did nothing but stand there and look pretty. I mean, he just let Keone do all the work. So I don't really know what his purpose was. I guess he's backup, but I don't think he would be very good backup in this situation anyway. So yeah, he's just there to stand, I guess.
Stop talking!
Before I get into the bad, I'm going to talk about the good really quickly. I think it's cool that they finally let Allegra utilize her powers for more than 2 seconds. It's good to actually see what she can do with her abilities when they actually let her do things with her abilities, which they never let her do. Now to the bad stuff, okay? Again, we're in the same situation where it really doesn't make sense that Allegra is the one to defeat Reverse Flash. I don't think it makes any sense for these characters to be the ones defeating these villains. It definitely should be Barry, or Barry should at least be helping out in some capacity, you know what I'm saying? These are villains that have hurt Barry, killed Barry's parents, done terrible things to Barry, and we don't get to see any emotional reaction to them being back alive, and we don't get to see him fight them. Instead, we get pretty much all new characters fighting these old villains, and it's like I mentioned before, it lacks impact because of that. You have these characters that have no ties to these villains whatsoever, so it's just another generic fight, and it's really unfortunate that it's that way, but it is. And they definitely could have prevented this by not killing off OG characters in the last season, you know, because then we could have had OG characters interacting with OG villains. It just makes the most sense.
Chuck,
The fact that he is alive at all is actual bull crap. Eobard literally just sat there and gave him electric chair treatment for like 10 minutes straight, just straight up just electrocuted him. There's no way he would have lived this. That's some bull crap. They just wanted to do a little fake out and try to build some tense scenes in the episode, but I'm pretty sure everybody knew he wouldn't die, though it would have made the finale more interesting if he did. And to be quite honest, I don't think a lot of people really love this character too much. No offense to Chester, but he's not like an overwhelmingly great character. He's just a Cisco replacement at the end of the day that is not a good Cisco replacement, you know what I'm saying? But nobody can replace Cisco, let's just be really real. Which is another disappointing thing about this episode, and that's that Cisco is not in it. The absence of Cisco is really felt in every episode, but especially this one. And Caitlyn's absence is felt here too as well. I mean, you got these two original characters that are part of original Team Flash, and this is the final episode in the final season, and they're not here. Their absence is felt. And at least I'm hoping by the end of this episode that we get Caitlyn, you know what I'm saying?
Stole my speed.
Period. I'm so glad they brought Jay Garrick back for the final episode. He has been a consistently good character throughout the show since he was introduced at the end of season 2. And honestly, I mean, and not only that, but the actor John Wesley Shipp is like the OG Flash actor. So I think it would have been wild and disrespectful for them to not have him in this final episode in some capacity. So I'm glad he's here.
If he keeps absorbing it,
He'll overload it and kill himself.
I think maybe saving the universe is a lot more important than just one guy.
It isn't often that I agree with Mark, but he is actually pretty right here. I mean, it is way more important to save the entire world than just saving Eddie. Eddie is a villain, and he's doing bad things to hurt people. It's more important to protect the people he's trying to hurt than protect him. Not to mention that he's already technically supposed to be dead anyway. Not that I'm saying that that should be the reason why they don't save him, but I mean, irregardless of that, he's still the bad guy. You prioritize the good people over the bad guy. I understand it's a difficult decision for Barry because Eddie was his friend at one point, but he just kind of has to realize his friend has been reincarnated for the sole purpose of doing bad and doing evil, and sometimes you just can't reason with people like that. So it's more important to keep the millions of people that are at stake safe.
for the last 9 years, I have watched the people I love suffer and die. I want a better world for my family, for everyone.
This isn't really relevant to what he's saying in this scene, but man, is Grant Gustin just a great actor. He has done some amazing performances over the years, and I just don't think anybody will ever truly be able to replace him as the best Barry Allen and the best Flash, because he has just done such a good job.
Q, in the last Avatar I faced, I sat down. I stopped fighting.
Ah yes, Barry, we do remember when you sat down in your fight with Eobard. What on earth are you doing? Why are you sitting down? I just kind of thought that was very lame. I mean, I've talked about this many times in plenty of videos. They've gotten really lazy with any fight scene related to speedster fights or any fight in general, honestly. I mean, we just don't get fights like we used to. And him sitting down and not fighting just felt like another stupid excuse to not have a proper fight. I mean, I know we had a little fight beforehand, but that's another problem I've talked about in plenty of videos too. They just don't last long enough either to really leave an effect, you know what I'm saying? They fight for like 3 seconds and then it's resolved. And it's just kind of lackluster, honestly. I don't mean to get off topic, but I mean, he brought that up and it reminded me.
It's impossible.
Then you need to believe in the impossible.
This was overall a very decent speech and a very great interaction between Keone and Barry, and I think that mostly has to do with the fact that Danielle and Grant have always been really good scene partners. They're both incredible actors and they do really well in scenes together. This scene, though, would have definitely been more powerful if it was Caitlyn talking to Barry instead of Keone, because, I mean, obviously Caitlyn and Barry have more of an established relationship and they've been together working on the team for longer together. Okay, this is definitely one of the better fight scenes we've gotten in a hot minute that didn't include powers. It's rare that they ever show any blood or gore or anything like that in these fight scenes. They, for whatever reason, just don't include them. But, I mean, it definitely adds a more intense aspect to the fight to actually see your favorite superhero actually getting hurt. If you're in a fight and they're just getting punched around and they don't look like that anything's happening to them, it's gonna be less intense, you know what I'm saying?
You died trying to stop.
He lies.
Iris isn't your wife.
Kill him now. Take back what's yours.
I love you.
Eddie?
Whoa, way too much is happening in this scene right now. We're cutting too quickly between flashbacks that we don't need. More useless flashbacks. This isn't surprising. In the real world, like, I mean, it's okay to have some sort of flashback in the scene. I guess it makes sense, you know, to have it cut in and out a little, but they're doing a little too much, in my opinion. It's kind of distracting to what is actually taking place in the conversation that they're having.
From one avatar to another. Just because I'm doing this doesn't mean we'll always see eye to eye.
Honestly, I find it a little lame that the final villain ended this way. Once again, we just ended it with a pep talk. It shouldn't be surprising, and it's not surprising, really. But I was kind of hoping that they would actually, you know, end this show with a bang, you know what I'm saying? Actually have a good fight and not end it with a stupid pep talk. But, I mean, I guess it is what it is. I guess it's nice to have Eddie back on our side somewhat again. But that's another confusing part. Like, he has kind of gone against everything the negative Speed Force stands for as far as, like, wanting to destroy Barry Allen. So wouldn't the negative Speed Force just be like, nah, I'll get a new avatar now that Eddie's kind of rebelling against it? I don't know. I don't really know. There's a lot of questions I have, and we'll probably never get any answers about them, but it is what it is.
I wanted right back with you.
Wait, are you saying that I have black hole powers?
We do not care.
I don't know why they've randomly decided to make Chester a metahuman. I mean, nobody wanted this and nobody cares about it. And it's certainly just kind of pointless to introduce something like this when the show is literally ending and we'll never hear anything about this storyline again, more than likely. So I don't really understand it. I guess it was kind of a way to explain away the fact that Chester should most certainly be dead right now because they just wanted to bait everyone into thinking that they were actually going to do something intense for the finale, and they just did not. This finale has been really kind of disappointing, and I hate how we've defeated literally every villain so soon. I mean, we're only halfway through the episode and every conflict is pretty much resolved. It's weird. Very weird way to format an episode.
Trap. Am I breaking timeline rules by being here?
Yes, obviously you are. Nobody should have to tell you that, and you shouldn't even have to ask that question. You, under no circumstance, should be at your own birth. I don't understand why the show's just glossing over this like it's just another day and that this is okay. I mean, over the seasons, they've talked about how important it is to not interact with your past self in any capacity, and I guess the show's just throwing that out the window. They don't care anymore. I think it's a little silly, that's all. I mean, come on.
And so it's time for you to ascend, become the natural order's protector of all things.
I have to say goodbye to my family, even for a time traveler.
Danielle Panabaker is such a good actress. I feel like I need to talk about that for a second. This scene is so emotional and good. Like, I'm not even a fan of Keone, really, and this scene is still sad for me because she just is such a good actress and she acted this scene out so well. Like, I can feel the emotion coming off of her. Now that we know Keone is going to be the natural order of things, can we finally get Caitlin back? Pretty please. Pretty please.
But now my time in this mortal body is done.
That's real. Even though she's fictional, it's real. And that's important to me.
Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Best part of the episode right here, ladies and gentlemen. Caitlin Snow has finally returned. I have been waiting for this all season, and it's finally a reality. Thank the good Lord. I don't know why it took them so long to bring her back in the first place. I mean, this season has felt so empty without her. I'm so glad she's back. So glad. At the very least, at least this show gets to end with her being alive. That alone makes me happy. Now, I will forever be bitter that they never brought Frost back, but you know, I'll just have to live with that one and you know, cry about it.
I never thought I'd see you again.
I know, but I'm home again.
Don't get me wrong, I love this scene, and I love being able to see Barry and Caitlin interact in a similar way in which they used to, where they're actually acting like they're friends. However, where was this energy the entire season? My boy, you acted like you did not care that she was dead for episodes on episodes, which is irritating because it's so out of character, and I will forever be mad about the way that they did Caitlin in this season and the way they had others just act like they didn't care that she was dead. But it's weird that they make them not care, and then when she comes back, all of a sudden they're like, we've been in the trenches the whole time you've been gone. Like, no, you haven't. Don't even lie. Don't even act like you didn't go dance after you found out she was dead.
Tannhauser as soon as I can. I love you too much.
We were robbed of a final scene between Caitlin and her mom. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take a phone call over anything, but I was really hoping that they would at least maybe try to incorporate at least one more scene between her and her mom. It's a dynamic I've really enjoyed over the course of the past couple of seasons. Now, I do think they've been inconsistent with their relationship. They would kind of bounce between getting along a little and not really getting along, but I still overall loved their relationship, and I was hoping we would, get a final scene of them kind of getting closure over Frost together and just interacting and being, I don't know, mom and daughter, and having a scene where, she's happy to have her kid back because Caitlin has been dead. Just have her at the party already and have them have a little scene in place of the phone call, that kind of thing. It's little things that they could have done that would have made this finale a lot more impressionable and a lot more sweet and emotional.
No matter how many times I tell her I'm fine, Carla still wants to run more tests.
I will never not think that it's weird that they make Caitlin call her mom by her first name. It's just odd to me. Like, I don't know why they do that. She could just say mom and people will know who she's talking about. There's only one person in the world that you usually call mom.
About how we left things. I'm so sorry.
Don't be.
Wasn't there literally a scene where he told Iris that he said he was sorry to her after he blew up her apartment, basically, and then he basically admitted that he actually was not sorry at all?
The last thing I said to Caitlin before I destroyed her lab was, I'm sorry. Truth is, I wasn't.
Are you sorry or are you not sorry? I'm so confused. You're just wishy-washy. You're apologizing to her about the way you left things, but you told Iris that you actually weren't really all that sorry about the way that you left things.
What you did, it showed me that Frost's love, her legacy, I'll carry that with me always.
Even though I think it is unrealistic that she has kind of moved on and made peace at this point about Frost's death. I mean, she hasn't made like complete peace by any means. You can tell she's still very broken and very hurt by Frost being dead, but she's in a way better place than she was when we last saw her. I don't think that's completely realistic because unless she has had the memories and experiences of Keone, this is literally Caitlin like a week or two after the last time we saw her, where she was heavily determined to bring Frost back. So I don't think this would have been a shift that she would have necessarily made so quickly, but I get why they did it because they waited too dang long to bring her back and then they had no time to build up on that, about her actually making peace. It's almost like this whole season could have been dedicated to her kind of finding inner peace about the whole thing and try to live knowing that Frost will always be a part of her. Like I mentioned before, you can tell that the writers have stopped caring because what the heck is this? I thought it was bad that she was sticking around for the birth of herself, but she's literally holding herself casually. It's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure this is breaking many, many timeline rules and nobody seems to care about it.
Cecile Horton.
Don't get me wrong, I've always been a huge fan of Joe and Cecile's relationship. I think they've always been very cute and I've always rooted for them. I do think it's a bit weird that they decided to let Joe propose to her in this episode at the very end. He should have done this way sooner, and I don't know why they didn't do this like a season or two ago. They've been in a happy, healthy relationship with their young child for quite some time now, so I don't know why they waited till the very last minute to do this. I honestly think they just forgot that they said that they were going to do this like a season or two ago, or they at least teased that they were going to do it and they just forgot that they didn't do it, so they're doing it now. But anyway, I'm happy for them. I just think that this is a really odd time to do this.
My friend Oliver said that the lightning chose me. Well, now I'm gonna do the choosing.
Yeah, I will be right there.
Our Avery Hope
Max Mercury. Jess Chambers.
I think it would have been way cooler for the lightning that he just threw to be what struck Barry back in 2014. That would have been the way cooler way to end this show. Don't get me wrong, I guess it's kind of cool to name drop big comic book speedsters, but to be really, really honest with you, I just don't really care about it that much. A, it's the end of the show, so we'll probably never see anything about this anymore going forward. And B, even if this was only a season finale and not a series finale, I still probably wouldn't care all that much because the show has had way better speedsters in the past that I would have rather them brought back than just create new ones that I probably won't like that much, just being honest here.
All of us. Together. A world where nothing has to be impossible. As long as we believe in it.
Wow, I cannot believe that this show is over now. It is genuinely crazy to me, and I cannot comprehend it. I have been watching this show since the very beginning, and I have been watching it live every week since season 2. So I've been in the game a long, long time. This show has been a big, big part of my life. It's my comfort show. You know, this show has brought me a lot of comfort. There's any hard times I've ever been through, anytime I've been sad, this show has helped me through so much, and it probably will continue to do so because I'll probably go back and watch, you know, older seasons still all the time and whatnot, but it's crazy that it's over. It has been a crazy journey with this show, and you know, the journey was not always pretty. There's definitely some rough episodes, some rough seasons. Definitely this is the most rough season yet, but nonetheless, I still love the show. It will always have a very special place in my heart. I mean, it has characters that I will love forever. I mean, 2 of my favorite characters came from the show, Frost and Caitlin. They are actually my favorite characters of all time, but you know, there are other characters that the show produced, like Harry and all different versions of Wells and Cisco and Barry, all of these characters in which will always hold a very special place in my heart. I'm very appreciative of what the show has done for me. You know, it really helped spark inspiration for creating this YouTube channel, and I've really loved enjoying making reaction videos to it. This is definitely not my last video. I have plans to make more Flash related content, and even branch out and do other content. I would like to do reviews about, you know, bigger shows, other shows that I watch. I watch a lot of different shows. Stranger Things, Titans, all sorts of stuff. So I want to start branching out and making other content, and continue to do reaction videos and continue to do reviews. YouTube is something that I've enjoyed doing over the past couple of years, even as a hobby, and I would like to continue to do that because I mean, it's fun and I enjoy it, and it's great to even if I only have a few people watching my videos, it's great to have people that enjoy what I do, even if it's only 1 or 2 people, you know what I'm saying? It's really fun. So I am very grateful to the show. I still have not come to full terms that I'm actually having to say goodbye to it and say goodbye to all of my favorite characters, but yeah, it has been a crazy ride, and I'm very, very grateful to have been a part of watching this show every week. But yeah, that is it for the final episode of The Flash. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!